Hey you! Welcome to my storytelling. This is Mariana Lopez and I want to share with you my testimony about my studies and my experience in France with the aim to inform you, guide you and clarify any doubt, especially if you are interested in study abroad. In this section, I want to clarify 3 points. First, a short glossary of acronyms you will listen frequently throughout this podcast, following with an explanation of the French educational system, and lastly, I will tell you roughly about me. Let's start with the glossary. IFP. This is the new name of the research institute formerly called the French Petroleum Institute, and it is recognized for being diversified in the energies, considering the accompaniment of the energy transition. This is the reason why at the end has been added the E and the N. IFP School is an engineering school that belongs to the research institute IFP. But why it is called school? I will explain you later. The third word that I want that you keep in your mind is poly. Poly is the abbreviation of the master's degree that I complete, Processes and Polymers. In France, it's very common the use of acronyms, and just as poly, there are acronyms for the other master programs. And the last word that I want that you remember is Bac Plus. These are the years of studies that you complete after you graduate from high school. For example, an engineer Bac Plus 5 is a person that completed a 5-year engineering program. Now let's talk about the education system. The higher education system in France is very different from what it usually is in Latin America or the United States. For example, in the United States, a chemical engineering program can last anywhere from 4 to 5 years, while in Colombia it lasts 5 years. In both places, a chemical engineer's degree will be obtained. On the other hand, in France, engineering studies are very complex. I will explain you the most common path of engineering studies. First, you must study 2 years of what is called here in France prépa. These years are very intense, with a really heavy academic load. After these 2 years at prépa, you must complete 3 years of engineering at an engineering school, or in French known as École d'ingénieur. With these additional 3 years, you obtain a master's degree and what is also known as Diplôme d'ingénieur, or engineering diploma, meaning that in France, a Bac Plus 5 is equivalent to an engineering degree and a master. On the other hand, in Colombia, I will give you as an example my university and career, my beloved Universidad Industrial de Santander. After completing your chemical engineering studies, you get a bachelor degree as a chemical engineer. In summary, in France, there are engineering schools. Therefore, if you want to become an engineer, you must study at an engineering school. And IFP School is one of them. However, IFP has a particularity, and it is that it's only offering postgraduate studies, which means you get a diploma as a specialized engineer that is mainly focused on the energy sector. To conclude, if a student after completing 5 years of engineering studies in France wants to focus on the energy sector, complementing his studies in an engineering school such as IFP School will be an excellent idea to then work in the energy sector. Now it's time to introduce myself. Nice to meet you. I am Mariana Lopez Hernandez. I am 25 years old and I am Colombian. I started my studies of chemical engineering at the Universidad Industrial de Santander in Bucaramanga, Colombia in 2013. While completing my studies, I conducted research activities with the Enhanced Oil Recovery Research Group during 18 months. I also held an academic exchange at the University of Oklahoma for 6 months. Afterwards, I performed an industrial internship at the refinery of Barranca Bermeja, and I completed my studies in 2017. In 2018, I arrived in France to complement my studies at IFP School, where I studied Poly Master's degree, which ended in December 2019. Right after, I found myself working in France in Accent's company as process design engineer. this is it for this episode. I hope you like it, and if you did, please share it with your colleagues or people you think may be interested in this subject. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram as My Storytelling with double G at the end. See you next time!